responsible for any losses you may accrue for having weekends. Where the haters at? Y'all bitches still ain't showed up. And now, right, we got Hex, flawless uptime. People thought this was a joke. Now they're mad at the chart.
This is Wales Only. Glad you guys can make it out. I'm making some claims that are pretty outlandish, but I can back them up. Boom. End of story. There is no other crypto out there, so don't get it twisted. If you don't understand where you're parking your money, you're going to pay the consequences for that. And that's just how the cookie crumbles. Boom. Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest. Yep. That's it. Yep. That's the secret. The guy well told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. Shit, motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. Man, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Y'all's deep. Everybody. My God. Ex-Asians, bro. Everybody. Australians, man. Everybody gets me. Yo, when is it told you? Dollar told you. Everybody done told you. It's crazy. What's going on, people? Hey, happy, what is this, Tuesday to y'all? Yeah. Second day of the quote-unquote new year. And it's lit out there. You know, I want to start out with just a simple tweet. Not even anything that's in video form. I just really want to just point out what could be just the trend for the year, because this is kind of what I was alluding to I don't know how many streams ago, because I've been streaming like crazy, but a while ago. And these are the kinds of things like you got to be ready for, because you can't really prepare for it. You know, you got to just know it's that time, you know, because that's just what it is, man. And we got to prepare for that. So let's see here. What the hell is this thing? Yeah, here we go. A lot of you guys might have seen it already. Oh, there is some videos in here, so we're about to get lit. But you know what? I want to brighten up the mood first, so we're gonna actually start with some comedy. So let's go into the comedy first, and then we will jump into this craziness that is the first 2 days of 2023 or 2024. My crazy ass. Hold on, let me just make sure everything is good to go. Oh, what a surprise. It's not no longer. It was just a person. Because, you know, it's actually been quiet for a little while. So now that I'm streaming, it should get loud as hell. Because that's, you know, how it works. Russell Brand, huh? Fuck. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I want to, you know, these, I like doing these streams, because now we're about to really see how everybody's going to catch on to whatever people like me were saying years ago about Rona. You know, now everything that is documented and well known, you know, going back to 20, who knows whenever, is about to be exposed. It's about to be common knowledge now. Now it's about to be okay for that information to be acceptable. And this is why it's imperative that you think for yourself. Period. You don't need anybody else to tell you anything besides the facts. And that's it. So let's get it.
Well,
Let me know if you guys can hear
forgive me,
it.
I'm a little distracted. This is the first show I've ever done with an interpreter. This is fucking cool right now. Well, I'm trying to learn shit. Retard. 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 Democrat. Democrat. This is the same thing.
Are you catching that?
Forgive me, I'm a little distracted. This is the first show I've ever done with an interpreter. This is fucking cool right now. Well, I'm trying to learn shit.
So this lady on the right side is a sign language interpreter. So she's talking to the people that only can communicate with sign language. Let's continue.
Retard. 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 Democrat. Democrat. This is the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I knew it. Democrat. Democrat. Retard. Retard. Democrat. Dude, you gotta be kidding me. Are you kidding me? I did not set this up, Democrat. Democrat. It's the same thing. I quit. Mommy, good night. I love it.
That's crazy. I mean, I don't know what further proof you need. I really don't know what further proof you need, but there it is, folks. Be careful what you side with without understanding what it means. All right, let's keep going. Now, apparently this morning, a plane just lit up on fire in Japan. So not only do we have, let me just line up this other tweet that I have here that I wanted to share, just because of this one tweet, because it's just crazy what's going on in Japan. Damn, do I even have it in this batch? Might not, but that's all right because I know where it is if I don't have it in this batch. Yeah, I know where it is. It's just crazy because 48 hours. That's it. That's we're not even 48 hours completely into the new year yet, and Japan is literally falling apart. And the thing that worries me the most is that if you know your history, then you understand that Japan is usually the first, and then everybody else experiences it at a specific point in time, but it's coming to everyone typically if they go through it. So I don't know, but that's what I do know, and that's what concerns me. So it's the only reason I'm bringing this up. It's better to be prepared for the worst than to be acting like ain't shit gonna happen, because we're just not living that kind of life anymore. Here we go. Got this tweet, and that's great. Boom, boom. All right, let's see. Are we cooking with grease here? I think we are. All right, we are. Let's get it popping. And thank you for the super chat, brother 64. Appreciate it. All right, let's see here. Boom. All right, so this was last night for us or whatever for them, and it's just wild. We're talking about a plane just lit ablaze apparently. I don't know exactly how that works. Oh, I guess it was landing. Let's see, because they give a little color in this tweet here. So, not even 48 hours into the new year, and we have a major earthquake in Japan. South Korean opposition leader Lee Jae-myung stabbed at a press conference. Imagine that. Not an attempt to stab him. This motherfucker got jabbed up. He got the shank. You understand? I mean, this is crazy, right? I mean, and I wonder if it's even real, because this is Hollywood. Could easily not be. A passenger plane exploding on the runway. So that's what happened there. That plane exploded, apparently. Car crash in Rochester, New York. I hadn't even heard about this, and I live in the damn state. Being investigated as possible terrorism after gasoline canisters were found in the SUV. That's a little stretchy, but whatever. Earthquakes in Cali and DC. I heard about the East Coast earthquakes. Did not know it was DC. There was, something in New York also. And the interesting thing is, check this out. I don't know if I talked about this yesterday or whatever, but I was out Saturday, middle of the day, just hanging out. It's cold, whatever. So there wasn't a lot of people out. But middle of the day, must have been 2:30, 2 o'clock. And all of a sudden you hear this loud boom. And I mean, birds fly out the window. It's just like the Jason Bourne movie. When he's popping shots in the forest and they let one go and the birds fly out of all the trees. It was just like that. They let some shit pop off and the fucking birds flew out. They said, fuck that. They were ghosts. Only humans are dumb enough to stick around. And all of a sudden, we got multiple reports of explosions and buildings shaking today. Interesting. So it's stuff like that, folks. You got to be aware of what's going on, because they're not playing games. This is supposed to be funny. Wild throwback. Parody, of course. That's pretty funny. Because people definitely act like that. They definitely act like that. All right, so check this one out.
Wake up, everybody. This is poison.
This is a pharmacy manager over a store intercom. I will not give this poison to people. Check this out.
This is Nicole Bellin, pharmacy manager for Safeway, store 1892 in Cortez. I quit effective immediately because I will not give this poison to people. Wake up, everybody. This is poison. This is hurting people. I've seen it. I've seen customers die. Wake up. Do not take it.
Alert. Pfizer just spent $43 billion to buy Segan, a company that treats cancer. Interesting. With a projected revenue of over $10 billion a year due to predictive massive rise in cancer rates worldwide. I wonder why Pfizer is so confident you will get cancer. Let's watch this.
All right, guys. Now, this should scare the shit out of you. There's a little company called Segan that no one's ever heard of, and they are developing a new type of cancer drug called an ADC. And it's like a chemotherapy drug that's designed to specifically target cancer cells while sparing healthy cells. Well, this company's been losing a lot of money, and Pfizer just bought them for $43 billion and admitted that they expect over 10 billion in revenue due to a massive rise in cancer over the next coming years. Now, gee, I wonder what possibly could be that Pfizer knows is going to increase the cancer rate. It couldn't be the Pfizer vaccine for COVID that had so many cancer-causing agents, including the SV40 simian virus that was found in the old polio vaccine that gave over 100 million people cancer. So now Pfizer just spent $43 billion on a company that's losing money betting that there's going to be a massive rise in cancer where they're going to be able to make $10 billion a year after they injected you with something that's going to give you cancer.
Well, no speculation there, folks. That's public information. What is coming is what I've been talking about, and a lot of people are speculating, and I think this is the most accurate relative mainstream description of well, I mean, I guess Glenn Beck isn't really mainstream, but he's out there, I guess. So let's listen.
Reserve currency. This will make what you think is coming is a recession. What your crazy friends might say to you is coming is maybe a depression. You'd be mistaken. Those are lies. What is coming is a collapse of the dollar. You haven't had one of those. We've never experienced the collapse of the dollar, of the world's reserve currency. This will make us Venezuela. Make no mistake. If you want to be prepared, prepare yourself like people should have prepared in Venezuela. What you think is coming is a recession. What you're
Now, I hope you heard what he said at the end. He said, prepare like if this was Venezuela. And he's accurate, because that's only what I've been saying for the past 3 years. Now, the thing you have to understand about the dollar is that that's only going to work as long as they want it to work.
How they're going to arrest you, or it's going to be worse. It's always
right. I mean, that's the critical thing to understand about the dollar. The dollar works as long as they want it to work, because it is their currency. It is not your currency. It is their currency. So there is literally no reason for anybody out here to have any kind of confidence in the dollar, because they don't determine anything that happens with it. And that's just a fact. It's not an opinion. So while the dollar is fine today, the fact remains it was better 20 years ago. So that no, the dollar is not fine. And yes, the dollar is collapsing. Don't be a fucking moron. That is what the fuck inflation is. So the dollar is not fine. And yes, it is collapsing. Wake the fuck up and watch this video while you're at it.
words and then shut the fuck up when in case there's any confusion. When we say use the script, just those 25 words, and then shut the fuck up when cops ask questions, we mean it. Just shut the fuck up when cops ask questions. When you first shut the fuck up, and then they ask more questions, continue to shut the fuck up.
No matter what they say, no matter how nice they may seem, no matter what jokes they may crack, they're not your friends. They want you to talk so you can fuck yourself. So just shut the fuck up.
They're either going to try to buddy up to you or scare the shit out of you by telling you lies, making things up, how they're going to arrest you or it's going to be worse. It's always going to be worse if you don't shut the fuck up. So
shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
And shut the fuck up.
And then shut the fuck up again.
And one last time, shut the fuck up and save yourself.
When cops ask questions, you shut the fuck up, and that's the tip of the day. In case.
Well, there you go, folks. There you have it. Shut the fuck up when you got cops in your face. Don't say shit. That's the only thing you should be thinking about doing. Because, again, you don't need to engage the system. You need to learn how to play dumb. That's the point.
There's something in the center of the earth that's magnetic. That's why compasses work on a flat earth. They only work on a level plane because they're drawn to the center.
I hope that's obvious to people. And we'll start that from the top if it's not. And while the dollar is still running, the quote-unquote world should understand that that's not really the case on an international basis. And in fact, they're trying to limit the use of the dollar slowly. And this is the thing that people are not realizing. You need to look at the data. Look at what's actually happening. Stop pretending that you have this view that you don't have. You need to look at the data. They're limiting the use of the dollar. And there's dollar shortages in places on top of that. So how do those places get those dollars? And how do we limit the inflation that's occurring here? Because the cost of goods is going down. It's been going down for at least a quarter. However, when you go shopping, that shit only goes up. So the dollar is not fine. And yes, it is collapsing. Starting from the top over here. Madness with respect to compasses and whatnot. Pay attention. This is good.
There's something in the center of the earth that's magnetic. That's why compasses work on a flat earth. They only work on a level plane because they're drawn to the center. Something is magnetic in the center. That's how they work. It's the Alexander Gleason map of 1892. You come over here to 1569. This is the Mercator. This is a projection. This is a blown-up projection of the North Pole. Back then, they knew that there was a black magnetic rock sitting right in the center of the North Pole. They called it Rufus Nigra. These maps were not fictional. They didn't make this stuff up. They worked really hard on documenting this stuff. This is the Urbano Montes map, 1587. It's the same time, 1569, 1587. They worked hard on this stuff. This is the earliest accepted map of the world. Come over here, 1892, Gleason, everything's frozen. We can't see anything. We can't see the four rivers that go to the center. Same thing here, he's got the four rivers, right? And then how do you get a north center and a south exterior? Like if the earth was a ring magnet, let's say, let's follow those lines. Let's see what it looks like if it was a ring magnet. There you go. What would that look like? Look what it does. That's ferrofluid on a ring magnet. Look at the center. Look at Rufus Nigra right in the middle of that. Look at the shape that this makes, and look at the shape of the land masses on these maps. That's just wild. That's just wild.
There you have it, folks. Some different perspective to consider with regards to what's going on. Now, check this out. This is pretty accurate.
Systems of power. Someone tweeted at me, "Why are Jews so weak and bad at sports?" Now, does this guy actually believe it? I doubt it. He just thought it would get me angry. But what it actually was a fastball down the middle. And so I just looked at his tweet and said, well, of course Jews don't participate in athletics. That's what we use to divert the energy of the Gentiles while we take over the systems of power. That's what we use to divert the energy of the Gentiles while we take over the systems of power. That's what we use to divert the energy of the Gentiles while we take over the systems of power. That's what we use to divert the energy of the Gentiles while we take over the systems of power. Someone tweeted at me, "Why are Jews so weak and bad at sports?"
That's one of those jokes where
I just thought it would get me.
the truth is the butt of it. Yeah, that dollar business, you have to understand the difference between when the market decides to say something and what it's saying. The fact that the actual cost in the market of goods and services is down and you are paying higher prices is exactly how you know the currency is losing value. That's really just how it is. So there's not much you can do or say to counter that reality except make a lot more dollars. So that's why it's called the time value of money.
You don't have to go to court. I don't care.
Now, what's going on in this tweet is how to get out of court for any crime, even murder, apparently. I don't know about all that, but let's hear what they got to say.
You don't have to go to court. I don't care what your criminal or what kind of a crime you've committed. I don't care how big it is. You don't have to go to court.
You don't? What do you have?
No.
What if you're...
You have to fill out a particular kind of form, send it to the Secretary of State, and say to the Secretary of State, I wish to settle out of court. You can settle anything out of court.
You can?
Of course.
Wow.
If Ford Motor Company is suing General Motors, they can settle out of court. So you won't know what they did to settle the thing because it's out of court.
Out of the water.
It's out of the water, right?
Right.
So you can settle any criminal complaint out of court. You just go through the Secretary of State and say that you want to settle this out of court.
There you go. That's worth trying. That's not anything crazy. So there you go. There's a pro tip for you. Let's see what we got here. Is this some more Epstein flight log analysis?
These people are full of the devil. These people are full of the devil. These people can't even be reasoned with. These are not people that you can talk to, and they are.
Have you guys noticed that? When you're dealing with these people that are like pedophilia, like evangelists, you know what I mean? Like they don't know that they're just in so deep with it, you know what I mean? Like they're just normies, you know what I'm saying? NPCs, and they don't, these are not people you can educate. They're not trying to be educated at all. And yes, becoming a secure creditor and buying your own straw man is probably where you want to start.
These people are full of the devil. These people can't even be reasoned with. These are not people that you can talk to, and they already have given their soul to the devil. Are you with me? These people go through seances. These people drink blood. These people sacrifice children. Somebody said they don't do that. They sacrifice children at the highest levels in Hollywood. They drink blood of young kids. This is a fact. That's why the next thing to be exposed will be all the pedophilia that's going to come out of Hollywood and come out of Washington, D.C. The human sacrifice and the cannibalism has been going on for years. Somebody said, oh, they don't do that. It's worse than what you think. You remember when the whole spirit cooking thing came out? That's commonplace, ladies and gentlemen. And many of the Hollywood actors that you go see on a screen, what you don't know, they bring a witch. They do a big seance right there on the set, and they worship devils, and they allow devils to come into them before they take the part of what they're going to act. It's a fact what I'm telling you.
Collapsing in the middle of the game.
Collapsing during the game.
Collapsing on the tennis court.
Suddenly collapsing.
The player
collapsed and died.
Collapsing.
He collapsed.
So I thought it was crazy that hold on, what the hell was that video on? Ah, right. I it's just wild how these people just get away with it. And you see it, and it's like nothing. Now this is talking about Rona, so let's see what Russell Brand has to say about that.
Collapsing in the middle of the game.
Collapsing during the game.
Collapsing on the tennis court.
Suddenly collapsing.
The player
collapsed and died.
Died after collapsing.
He collapsed.
It seems that there's a second player who's collapsed.
This is unusual.
Never seen anything like this. Yeah, what's going on?
Sharp rise in unexplained deaths during the pandemic.
The number of deaths with unknown causes has gone up over the last 3 years.
Deaths that are not listed.
Unknown. You know what the unknown causes are? It's only one thing.
It's COVID related.
That's right.
Healthy young people are dying suddenly from a mysterious syndrome.
Sudden adult
Death syndrome. SADS is an umbrella term to describe unexpected deaths in young people.
There is some evidence that some sort of delayed reaction to COVID.
Why would the legacy media not investigate this with the same vigour that they've applied to a variety of other subjects that appear to enhance their ability to control dissenting voices and shut down counter-narratives? Why is there a demand for censorship to be enshrined in law from the EU to Ireland, to the United Kingdom, to the United States of America, to Canada? Why has it become so important to control information when the ability to create content like this has just become global and worldwide? It's precisely because information like this, and I'm not suggesting for a moment that all of those athletes died or that all of those athletes were suffering as a result of particular medication, but the data is available now. Excess deaths are rising. The life expectancy in the United States of America is falling, and it isn't because of COVID. Comparable figures are available in the United Kingdom. And once again, the same is true. Sudden deaths, unexpected deaths, excess deaths, all rising, and it isn't because of COVID. Curiously, there is a total lack of appetite to investigate this, even though it seems like there's ample evidence to warrant an investigation. Health agencies are not investigating it. Legacy media organizations are not investigating it. Elsewhere, we've reported on the kind of relationships that exist between big pharma and cable news media, who receive the vast majority of their funding, not only from big pharma, but specifically from Pfizer, just one organization. Have you ever seen Albert Bourla contend with a single difficult question, except for when he was chased by rebel news through the snowy streets of Davos? Of course you haven't. You've just seen him in puff piece after puff piece. Independent media is vital because it allows these questions to be asked. Were it not for the valuable voices in this space, you wouldn't have a COVID inquiry in the UK. You wouldn't have any dissent at all. You wouldn't have no uptake for the latest COVID booster shots because none of this information would be available. I'm not saying that just because I am an independent media figure, even though I personally know the level of attacks that are likely if you put yourself in a position of dissent. I know it. I know it personally. I'm just one voice in an increasingly powerful space. But the real power is with you, your independent thought, your ability to choose. That's what they are trying to shut down and control. They do not want an awakened, dissenting population investigating the high levels of corruption in their own state, in their own media, and in particular in globalist, corporatist agencies and financial entities. Because if people become aware to that, we will oppose it. They won't be able to control and regulate a population that is mistrustful of its media, its judiciary, its law enforcement agencies, and in particular, the establishment interests that appear to be able to coordinate all of them. You've just seen with your own eyes sufficient evidence to warrant a serious investigation into the impact of the pandemic era, distinct and separate from the impact of COVID itself, whether that's as a result of the rise of heart disease, or people taking their own lives, or mental health, or the collapse of small businesses, or the impact on children's education, and certainly, and perhaps most importantly, the possible impact of certain medical interventions that were highly propagandized, the message of which was amplified, questions weren't asked, dissent was shut down, legitimate experts were shamed and smeared and shut down, and dissenting voices were attacked. This is time for a global reckoning. Let's ensure that 2024 isn't like 2023, a year where ordinary people's views were repressed so that establishment power could be continually magnified.
Yeah, I completely agree here. I remember when all these people first started dropping dead, somebody tried to tell me that that was normal. And I mean, I'm not even going to tell y'all who this fool is, but y'all know who he is because y'all be following him into a shit corner. But anyway, one thing they're not going to do is find out why these people are suddenly dying. They're not going to make any note of it. They're not going to make any noise of it. They're not going to want you to find out. Because then if you do, you're going to discover is what they want you to take in the first place. So you're damn right they're not going to talk about it. Now listen to this guy. This is funny.
Lump it. Get
Former CIA director when asked about overthrowing governments. Check it out.
What right have you, when I mean you, the CIA, the United States government, or any foreign power, what right do you have to do what you do in other countries? What
national
right?
security interests.
But that's a divine right, isn't it? Because the people that you do it to have no say in it.
Yeah, well, that's just tough. We are going to protect ourselves, and we're going to go on protecting ourselves because we end up protecting all of you. And let's not forget that.
Right. No, I won't.
We'll intervene whenever we decide it's in our national security interest to intervene. And if you don't like it, lump it. Get used to it, world. We're not going to put up with nonsense. And if our interests are threatened, we're going to do it.
What?
This is when the credits start to roll. This is when the credits start to roll on this movie and when things will get changed with Trump and get better. All right? I'm going to even give you the date. It is July 18th, 2024.
Guess we'll find out what happens on July 18th. I honestly have no idea. So we will find out soon. Let's see what's going on with this buffoon.
The world's best work on this is done. With DIPIT on a great number of things, and among those are work we do together on livestock, helping animals survive either by having vaccines or better genetics, helping them be more productive. It's making a big difference. Down in Ethiopia, seeing how chickens are out there laying more eggs, getting more nutrition, and even some small savings into the household. So Edinburgh happens to be where a lot of the world's best work on this is done, and that's why DIPIT and the Gates Foundation are funding scientists here.
Sure. It's good to know what people are doing.
We used to have and what we have now. And that we realized early in the process within social media that people react to before and after pictures. If you find a very ugly building in the city, and then you go to the city archives, you might find a picture of what was there before. That's a very talking image in terms of what we used to have and what we have now. And that effect makes people angry because they realize they lost something they never knew they had. You realize
That's
early
deep.
in the process within social.
And very true. That's all New York. New York is all over the place. They just swapping out good buildings for trash. It's crazy. No holds bar. They just doing it. And you just gonna like
92% of DNA.
So this is talking about DNA damage.
Today, research is showing that 92% of DNA damage is caused by mineral deficiency. You see, the greens are the highest source of minerals of any of the vegetable kingdom. What we have to do is have a look at how those vegetables are grown. The soil is used over and over again. Every organic gardener knows that if he grows a crop in his soil, he cannot put another crop in that soil until he replaces all the minerals that the previous crop took out. So what's happening is plants are being grown over and over and over in the same soil. and they're not going too well. So superphosphate's put in the soil. Superphosphate kills the microorganisms in the soil, and they are the ones that are responsible for pulling the minerals out of the soil and into the plant. So now the plant's deficient, even though it might look good. Didn't taste any good. And all the bugs attack that plant. Notice the plant that the bugs attack, the wheat plant. So the gardener sprays the plant to kill the bugs. Then the plant's picked too early. Then it is stored too long. And then the last few minerals that may have been left in, say, the broccoli, when they're cooked in a saucepan and the person throws the water out, there go the last few minerals. How does that broccoli taste? If you had a blindfold on, you wouldn't even know it was broccoli. Have you ever eaten an apple off a tree? The taste is amazing. You know what you're tasting? Minerals.
You are public servants. You serve at
Sorry about that, guys. I was definitely muted. So, what was the other one, man? Ah, yeah. So there you go. Fruits, fresh fruits. And you got to think about how, we all mostly, unless we're getting stuff from a farmer's market, the stuff we're getting is probably, uh, commercially produced. I don't know. My stuff usually tastes all right, so I think my stuff is okay. Because I feel like if it's depleted, you're gonna know. But it tastes different when you go overseas, so it's not to the same caliber anyway. But it's things to be aware of. Now, this one here, it goes: Black resident from Harlem, New York, says the people of Harlem are done with the Democrat Party. If you live in New York, you kind of see it already. People don't give a fuck about paying for the trains, and guess what? These MTA people don't bother, to tell anybody anything. Like everybody's just kind of fed up with everything. And it's interesting because the last few times I flew actually, I got the same vibe. When I went through TSA, they didn't really give a rat's ass. On the plane, they didn't really give a rat's ass. They just did the basics in terms of making sure you were good, and that's it. They weren't really harassing people like they usually were. And the first time I was surprised, the second time I was shocked because I really thought it was a one-off, but it wasn't. So, people are getting fed up, people are getting tired, people are changing up. And it's slow coming, but it's coming. And we'll see what happens. Let's play this.
You are public servants. You serve at our pleasure. We buy your houses. We buy your cars. We pay for you and your wife's vacations. And the people are serving notice on the government of the United States. We are serving notice on the state of New York. We are serving notice on the mayor of this city. We are serving notice on the city council that if you do not do your job, you will no longer have a job. I live in Harlem, and I'm telling you, we are living in the middle of a crack epidemic nightmare. People need help. It is a violent circle of oppression when you create the situation, and then when we go out to protest the situation, you in turn exact more violence upon us. We are saying no more.
How about that? Somebody connected some dots besides people on the internet. And it's important, right? Because at the end of the day, the information that people come across is going to be hidden other than that, right? So that's why stuff like this really needs to come out. People need to see, why crypto is necessary today. Like all this stuff is happening now. You know, these tweets might be a day or two old, whatever, whatever. The clips might be even older, but the information is relevant. And that's why I go through it. So it's important for people to understand what's going on out there. 'Cause there's a lot going on. Let's dig back in.
So the latest
China.
in this dystopian outrage that is now all of China apparently is I once again cannot buy food. A couple days ago, my uncle and my cousin helped me get a cell phone that is linked to a Chinese bank card so that I could buy anything. But now, apparently, it has been flagged for some reason, and I have to pass facial recognition identity verification, which is insane, because all I want to do is just spend my gift card balance on this debit card. I can't believe I'm doing this. I have to open my mouth. Oh my god. Terrifying. Oh. And of course, because it was my cousin who set this up for me, I did not pass verification. I guess it's a good thing that the Chinese app is not racist. But now I once again can't buy anything.
That's crazy. I mean, she had to open her mouth to get verified. Like, what the fuck? And yo, that's what people don't understand that's coming. Right? I mean, if we're not careful, you're going to be mad you didn't have more crypto. And people keep sleeping on it. Like, I don't know how many warnings people need. The value of the dollar is shit. They're finding ways to suppress the use of cash. They're finding ways to increase the use of electronic forms of cash. Like, do the math, man. Ultimately, they're going to try to crash the system in some way, shape, or form, such that we only have the option that they want us to have because people are too dumb to think and realize what's going on. So if you don't have that crypto, you might be asked out from being able to buy goods and services. I'm telling y'all, man. Y'all don't understand because, you're not paying attention. That's why I'm showing you all this stuff. Pay attention because they're letting you know. That's one of those signs. That's in China. All that crazy shit happens over there first. They already got it going on in the West Coast. Because those weirdos love dystopian shit. I don't even know how else to say it. Comment here is, do not mess with country folk. Never assume because they live with nature that you're somehow smarter or more educated about reality than they are. Let's check it out.
I am the living soil. The dirt, the water.
Oh, this is really low. What is going on
Not
here?
prime evidence. I'm not prime evidence. I am the living soil. The dirt, the water, and the air has its own voice, does it not? It all supports forms of life, does it not? I am a part of that life. I am not your corporate fiction.
Sir?
Do not hinder me.
You're here today on an omnibus hearing. We've already pled not guilty.
I'm here by special visitation to see to it that you do not tainter my natural living man's name.
Are you prepared
That's why
to tell
I'm
the
here.
court if you wish to go to trial on this matter?
This is a trial. Tell
No,
me
this
it's not.
isn't a trial.
Here's my
This is
jury
an
of my
omnibus
peers.
hearing, sir.
You cannot produce a jury of my peers because all juries are selected from a pool of registered voters, and the instant a person registers to vote, their natural ability as a peer to comprehend natural law has been dissolved and turned into fiction. There cannot be raised a jury of my peers. It cannot be done.
Excuse me for just a moment.
No way. Get back here and finish this. Hey, get back here and finish this. The judge has left the courtroom. There you go.
Yeah.
There is nobody in this courtroom.
Yeah.
The judge has walked out.
The judge just walked out there.
You guys caught that? That's some game right there. She walked out the room because she couldn't retort. That's the out. Now, in my opinion, he messed up by not calling her back 3 times. But that's just me. 3 is usually the magic number. What's going on here? What is she doing? Apparently she's cured cancer and stuff. She has a blog.
Spoon a day keeps the cold, cough, and flu away. Here is the most powerful antibiotic in just 4 ingredients.
Antibiotic.
Take a bowl and half a cup of raw organic honey. Add a teaspoon of turmeric, half a teaspoon of ginger, and a teaspoon of vanilla, and give that a really good stir. It's an antimicrobial, antibacterial, anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, and packed with antioxidants. 1 teaspoon a day keeps the cold, cough, and flu away.
There you go. Some health stuff. Get your body right. Let's see what's going
Let
on
us
here.
imagine, audience members, that the British are trying to invade once again. They have taken control of our government now. What are you going to do? And people say, well, war, fuck, get the fuck out. We've already done this before. We can do it again. No big deal. If I say it's the Russians, if I say it's the Chinese, okay, fine, no big deal. All right. If that's what we have to do, war sucks. War is hell. But if we got to do it, we got to do it. But if I say it's the Jews, so think about that. What is your reaction to that? Whoa! The Jew. Are you some kind of anti-Semite? Are you some kind of Nazi? What's your reaction to that? I mean, when I said the British are invading, imagine that. Okay, British are invading, British are taking over. Okay, you're fine with that. When I said the Chinese are invading, blah, 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 you're fine with that. As soon as I said the Jews, suddenly you have an issue. Well, now why is that? What is with you have to check yourself, examine your mind. What type of information are you receiving that's making you think this way? Is it, for instance, because, I don't know, every year there's about 5 at least key movies, at least 2 major movies, I would say, 1 or 2 major movies about the Holocaust, and then plenty of other smaller ones about World War II, blah, 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 and they all deal with, it's the Hitler and the Nazis and blah, blah. Is it because that in almost, I swear to you, and I promise you this, if you were to randomly pick out just think of the top 10 movies that you've liked, over the past year that have come out, I swear to you that there was like a huge movie. What was the last one? Valkyrie with Tom Cruise. Oh no, that wasn't even the last one. We also had the what's that fucking dumb one that just came out with it was like a sort of a comedy action thing. There's some I can't even remember the fucking name of it. I think Tarantino did it or something with like some Nazi God, I can't Inglorious Bastards. Inglorious Bastards. Yeah, Inglorious Bastards. You know, I mean, this is the kind of shit. You know, what if every year you had a couple of huge blockbuster level movies that were like, you know, don't fight the British. The British are good. Americans are bad. You are fucking bad for fighting the British. Da 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 da. I mean, what is this fucking drilled into your head over and over again? I mean, what would you be thinking? If this was a show about fuck the British, suddenly you would be like, man, what the fuck? Dude, the British are great. Hold on a minute. You know, I mean, come on. I mean, what if I told you that the majority of Congress right now is Chinese, and that 90-something% of the porn industry is controlled by the Chinese, and that almost every major feminist leader is Chinese, and that almost every single gun control law that's been put into place was put in place by a Chinese politician? Wouldn't you be like, holy shit, are these motherfuckers trying to take us over? I think so. I think we got to do something about the Chinese now. Yeah, sure, that's the conclusion. Duh. Okay, fine. Let's go fucking hunt these fuckers down, get them out of our fucking country, right? Simple. Okay. But as soon as I say Jew, you know, I mean, this is the kind of situation that we're dealing with, guys. It's a programming issue, and you've got to move beyond it, and you have to see them as an enemy that must be destroyed, and it's really that simple.
Perspective, folks, because that's definitely what it looks like. Now, I just wanted to show this because, man, people need to know there's still a regular human skeleton under all that. So, mind what you consume, folks. And that's it for today. Let's see. Want to look at some charts? Let's look at some charts. What's the dollar doing? What is the dollar doing? Let's wrap it up with some charts. Oof. Nasty move today. And I was tracking it just to see, because this was like my first resistance area, because it just blew past this level anyway. So I got this one and got a whole bunch overhead. So we'll see what it does. I think it's honestly going to continue. Not much of a reason for it not to. And that was a pretty thrusty move upward. On a 21 tick basis, I mean, that thing skyrocketed. So it's probably just going to stick around 101.5, if anything. So that's putting pressure on everything else naturally, right? S&P is down. Crude is down again. I think even gold is down. Cotton is down a little bit. Yep. Copper is down. Natural gas, I think, is trending up, though. Yeah, it's trending up on a short-term basis, going back to like mid-December. Gas is down. So most things are down. You know, silver. These currencies are going to be down as well. So the dollar's doing what it's supposed to be doing, and this is just a function of people taking a risk-off stance, right? That means that there's fear in the market and people are hiding in the safety, quote unquote, of dollars. I mean, you know, we talked about the Swiss franc for a while, and this thing ran a whole 1,000 ticks before it finally fucking stopped. I mean, that's huge. Whoever was playing this shit, 'cause I did not. Whoever played that shit, man, they fucking crushed it. Straight up. Let's see. Just to give you guys perspective, man, because that was a fucking crazy move. From 6 October, fucking 83 days. I think that's 1250 a tick. Let's see. $6.25 a tick, apparently. No, 1250 a tick. So that's 12,500 a contract right there in fucking 3 months. It's a hell of a trade. So I need to start watching that bitch. I usually don't. I just like understand what it does. I don't really watch it to trade, but lesson taken. But yeah, so the dollar is doing its thing, and that's driving everything else. And rates are moving higher as a result. Because again, this is a function of a safety move, right? And while that doesn't really make sense in what we are used to seeing from interest rates, we have to understand that the regime has changed. So what we have now is not what we had before. Now stocks, bonds, crude, etc., they're correlated because the use of the dollar has changed, right? The use case. So now people are going to run to it when there's trouble, right? And ultimately, rates will go high enough. I mean, I'm not sure they're going to go that much more higher, but if they do, then they're going to go pretty freaking high relative to where they are now. To then entice people again to buy back in to the market, right? Because we have area of support down here and intermediate areas, but they might not be as strong, right? Because that really is going to depend on how the market perceives risk at that time when price gets to that point. And if risk is still the same, price is going to just continue going lower, lower, and lower until it reaches extreme points. And to such that people are going to be forced to buy back in. And that's just how markets work. So that's important to understand that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. NASDAQ is down. All these markets are down because the dollar's up. So that's just the way cookie crumbles. Let's see what the bond volatility. So bond volatility is up, of course, because bond prices are down. VIX should be up also. But it retraced significantly. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, that shit got sold the fuck off. 745. Hold up. That's interesting. Fuck is going on here? So I don't really watch the VIX like that, but damn, I've never even heard of anything like this. So the VIX traded up from, it's open middle of the night at the index all the way to 7:45 a.m. and then it sold off all day. Now bonds are down. And basically S&P is like flat from that point. 47779. Now it's actually up. Yeah, because the market closed at 82 and a quarter at that time, and it's trading 3 points up, or almost about 2.5 from that time. So just something to be aware of, because VIX is a weird thing. It's like it's a very weird thing. I don't know. It could be being driven by short-term volatility. So that's predicated on all the 0-day trade expiration options that the market is now being saddled with, basically. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, folks. Rates looking like a problem. We'll see. It does look like it's gonna just continue rolling higher. So we shall see. But yep, that's pretty much it, folks. Thanks again for tuning in. Appreciate you guys' time. You guys have a good one. Peace. Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass The longest.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
That's the secret. The guy well told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. These motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. I mean, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Y'all's deep. Everybody.